Companies aren't just using AI to assist workers, they're using AI to replace workers entirely. If no action is taken, mass job losses could occur without any plan to replace the workers. So, do we slow down AI or do we push full speed ahead? I'll tell you what I think, but let's continue with this train of thought, just analyzing this for a bit further. So, you've got accelerationism and directionism. Acceleration is move fast and break things, is to do with pushing AI adoption as quickly as possible to maximize economic growth. Now, the UK aims to become an AI superpower, focusing on innovation, productivity, and investment. But the problem is, what happens when millions of workers are displaced? And on the other hand, you've got directionism where we control AI before it controls us. Part of the idea being AI should be steered towards solving real societal problems like issues in the healthcare sector, education sector, and even infrastructure. So instead of job losses, AI should be used to create new industries and opportunities. But the reality is, the UK doesn't have any clear direction, especially unlike other countries like the US, for example, who just wants to plow ahead as fast as possible. They're adopting the accelerationism approach. The EU is a bit more in the directionism approach. Slow down, let's do things, let's get the regulation in place. But the UK, I don't know what our approach is. Keir Starmer didn't even turn up to the AI summit the other day. So the AI summit was where a lot of the leaders across the world joined together to discuss the future of AI and how they're going to cooperate and collaborate to make sure the future of AI is good for global society, especially President Modi Prime Minister Modi from India. He pushed the global south, so essentially the poorer regions of the world, also being a part of this sort of AI movement and not being left behind. And then you had JD Vance, the vice president, who just wanted to plow ahead, like I was saying, he just wants the US to move as quickly as possible and not have much regulation. And I think it's President Ursula von der Leyen from the European Commission. She, of course, spoke of regulation and taking the directionism approach and doing things in a more thought out, measured way. But there was no UK representative. So, what's our thoughts on this? The main question is, of course, again, do we let AI reshape the workforce freely? Or do we put guardrails in place before it's too late? So there's three phases of AI job disruption. Phase one is back office automation. And this is typically where AI is replacing simple repetitive tasks like customer service, scheduling, data entry. 11% of these jobs are already affected. And then we've got phase two, which is AI enters higher paying jobs. Yeah. And this is supposed to happen in the next 5 years, within the next 5 years. And we've got AI here integrating deeper into finance, law, marketing, some of the industries that I spoke about earlier. And then this affects up to 59% of the knowledge economy tasks exposed. So that coupled with the 11% for the back office automation, that's the 70% the article's speaking of. And this article is from the Institute of Public Policy Research. So a respected organization for the most part. And then we have phase three, where AI becomes the economy. And this is projected to happen within the next 10 years. And in this phase, we've got companies fully in restructuring AI. And this is where jobs just aren't replaced fast enough. Entire industries will change, and not just for individual jobs. And the consequences of all this is, especially from the British perspective, or I mean, you could apply it to a lot of other countries as well, which I haven't spoken about, but this article is specifically about Britain. There could be an economic collapse. I mean, unless there's a plan in place, which I don't see much sign of, things could just go haywire and jobs just aren't replaced fast enough, which of course causes more economic inequality in society and just anarchy, really. So how do we stop this from happening? Well, Keir Starmer needs to make a plan. Government institutions make a plan. It needs to be spoken about more. And people need to think about how they're going to shape their individual lives to take into account these changes that, like I said, they're not far off within 5 years with phase two, within 10 years, phase three. So what approach do I think we should do? I think we should take the directionism approach, because the reality is that's the safest approach. That's not going to cause tons of issues in society. And it makes sense to think things out. Why would you just plow ahead without actually thinking about what you're doing as a society? It doesn't make sense. Now, I know the US want to do accelerationism. Well, that's them. I mean, they're competing with China and other global powers, and so are we. But if it's going to cause just chaos in your society, going too fast and not thinking about the repercussions, then I couldn't promote that strategy. It doesn't make sense to me.